Hello everyone, I am back. Hopefully we can get everyone back here. I think I fixed the problem, so we can go over our information. This is the spot where everybody can come and network for the upcoming protest against the unconstitutional and corrupt child support system, family court system in the United States and all around the world. My name is Rahmaan. I'm the author and founder of the Child Support Hustle and founder of the Reform Child Support Now movement. I'll give a few seconds. Again, I apologize for me being late. I had some technical difficulties, as I always do. So, just I hope everybody gets in. I'm looking at my head. Okay. In the description, I put some locations that we have so far. If my description come up, can somebody give me a okay if you can hear me okay, a thumbs up, or I can hear you, or something like that, as long as and I'm coming through okay, I'd appreciate it. I don't know if I can, this new setup they have on here is just, I'm just not getting it, I guess. So I see me, so I'm going to go forward. Okay, so far our locations are Dallas, Texas. We haven't determined a time yet. We got Houston, Texas. That's going to be at 10 a.m. And Marcus Davis is the organizer there. So we're hoping that everybody meets up here. You put your information here. Don't think you should put your personal phone number and things in here, but you'll be able to DM and try to link up and start networking to determine what time and place you guys are going to meet up in your respective city and states. Okay, we got Detroit, Michigan, Carnell Alexander at the Coleman Young building at 12 p.m. I'm going to be in Columbus, Ohio. That's going to be 12 p.m. It's all in the comments. We got Tampa, Florida, and that's what we have so far. So the topics that you can talk about during the protest. I know people talked about having flyers. You can have signs. With the COVID going on, people might not want to have your flyers or take your flyers, so I suggest you have signs. You can put our website on there, thechildsupporthustle.com, which is back up and running now. So if you want to go and order a t-shirt or the book, you can order the book, the ebook or the print book on the website and get a t-shirt. We also have the Fuck Child Support t-shirts on there. Well, I haven't added them yet, but I'm going to add them if you want to wear one of those. So those will be available. And some of the topics that you can add to your signs or on your flyers, of course you can get information here on our Facebook page, but you can also go to thechildsupporthustle.com, and I'm slowly but surely adding our blogs back on there. So there's a whole bunch of information, a whole bunch of references that you can use on the flyers that you create, because this is all of our movement, all of our protests. It's not just one person or one organization. This is everybody standing together in solidarity. So I'm going to go over a couple of things that my organization, our organization, has always fought for and will continue to fight for. So these are some of the talking points, if you will, that I believe needs to be at the forefront of any type of reform to this family court and child support reform. So one would be to repeal the Bradley Amendment. This is so crucial because right now the states and the courts prohibit retroactive reduction of child support obligations. So no debt can be reduced retroactively. And this is particularly critical at this time because so many children are aging out of the child support system. So you have a lot of debt-only cases. So that means that the actual child support case is closed, but it's debt-only. So the non-custodial parent is indebted to, most of the time, to the state. So when it's a Title 4D case, and I know there's a lot of talk about Title 4D, that's basically saying that it's a welfare case. And in welfare cases, the child support debt is owed to the state, not to the custodial parent. So you have this debt that's hanging over the non-custodial parent's head, It's not going to the child because the child is now an adult. So it's going to the state, and because of the Bradley Amendment, it cannot be reduced because it is a judgment of law, kind of like any kind of credit, like you get sued by a credit card company or something like that. It's now an operation of law. So because of this Bradley Amendment, it makes it impossible. So, for example, if somebody was a POW, a prisoner of war, and accumulates this debt from child support, when he or she is released and comes home, hopefully that's the case, that debt cannot be reduced or erased because of this Bradley Amendment. So that's one of the topics, one of the main topics we feel here at the Child Support Hustle that needs to be repealed is the Bradley Amendment if we're going to get any kind of significant change, or if we're going to fix the system as it is. I put in the links, in the description, I put a link to the Bradley Amendment if you want to find out more. You can also visit our YouTube page. Oh, please like and share this video, please, so we can get more people to come to the protest and figure out where everybody's going to be, because we need to get the logistics together. So in the links, in the description, there's a link to the Bradley Amendment, which will tell you more about it if you want to put that on your flyer. Second is the pass-through. Right now, because of the Title IV cases, it's up to the state whether they want to pass through, child support collected to the vulnerable families that receive public assistance. Currently, there's 26 states that they don't pass any money that's collected. So child support collected on behalf of these children are retained by the state. They don't get any of it. So, and because of this, because they mandate that custodial parents sue the non-custodial parent in return for these benefits, TANF and Medicaid for sure, some states food stamps, and if you've watched any of my videos, you've heard me say this before, but for the purposes of our protest, these are some of the key things. That's why I'm repeating this, so I apologize. So that's one of the key things why we are talking to legislators and going back and forth. One of these key things is pay the money that's collected for child support. Let me get this light out of my eye. Sheesh. It's bright. Some of the money, all the money that's being paid for child support needs to go to the child. The one thing they always say, child support is in the best interest of the child, right? But then they keep the money that's being paid for these low-income children, on behalf of these low-income children. So we want 100% pass-through. Now, in the states, the remaining states that will pass through some child support, it's between $50 and up to $200 for 2 or more children. But then they have all this red tape that this has to happen or that has to happen. But anyway, they can keep as much money as they want to. So that's something else. You know, pay all the money, pay all the child support to the child. So that's another issue that you can bring up if you put on a sign, give the kids the money. Thirdly, and if you want to know your pass-through law, I have a link in the description that I made slides that has all this state by state, and it's a slide like stats per state for 2018. I'll be making a new one because they just released the new stats, so I'll be doing another one for 2019 soon. But if you want the stats for 2018, that's in the description. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm going to upload this video to YouTube later. These are going to be in the descriptions on YouTube, so you can go in there and look at all the stats and stuff. Thanks, Jules. I really appreciate you. Okay, Galveston, yay. So anybody in Galveston, reach out to Jules. Y'all set up a time and location. Put it here. This is where we want you guys. And then we have an event page too. So if you're going or interested, I didn't have I think we made a new event page. So I'll upload that or put the link here. But so we can all start networking and get together. Okay, so this is really important. This is real, and this is the time. Like, I'm encouraging everybody. Yes, is it kind of scary? Is it kind of, yes, but we know that this needs to be done. We can only do so much online, right? It's time to take it to the street, and our issues, our complaints are valid. Don't let anybody tell you that they're not. It's time for non-custodial parents to stop being treated like second-class citizens. I'm gonna skip one. I was gonna get to this, but I'll get to it now. With the stimulus money, they stole that money. Now they're still in unemployment benefits. They don't want to adjust or suspend child support during the time of this uncertainty. People aren't working, but they still are accumulating the child support debt. And as I said before, because of the Bradley Amendment, this debt is going to sit there and sit there and sit there. So the punishments are still going to be there. Everything is still going to be the same, but they know that parents aren't working. So the second-class citizenship that they have placed on non-custodial parents has got to go. It has got to end. And this is our time to make our voices heard and force legislation to make some changes. We just found out, and I think we posted it here, that the Senate has put up, they've been going back and forth about the second round of stimulus. Well, they've made it where the money is protected from garnishment from all kind of debt collection. Of course, the student loan, but then they were going after the money if they owed any other kind of debt. Well, they're putting that in there to protect that money. But of course, people that owe child support, parents that owe child support, allegedly, they're not protected yet again. So they've put it again where they're going to steal that money. And a lot of times, most of the time, some of the custodial parents receive that money, but most of the time, especially if we're in Title 4D cases, they did not get that money. So the second-class citizenship bullshit, excuse my language, is over. So take it to the streets. It's time. Okay, so I got a little bit off. I like to have my notes because I can go on and on. Hey, Marcus. That's Houston, guys. So if you're in Houston, Marcus just joined. You want to get with him, and like I said, I don't suggest you put your personal, phone number and things like that on here, but at least DM them. Y'all can talk, maybe share emails or something like that, so y'all know where to meet up. Okay. Hold on one second. Okay, so the next thing is debtor prisons. We need to re-abolish debtor prisons. They were abolished allegedly or supposedly in 1833, but they've crept back up by way of child support and they justified locking parents up when they cannot afford to pay the child support debt. They call it contempt of court, as many of you unfortunately are aware of. But what they're supposed to do and what they're not doing is offering safeguards to parents to determine whether you have the ability to pay before a warrant is ever issued. And they have to do, there's criteria that they have to look at. It used to be whether you were involuntarily unemployed or underemployed, but they passed a regulation, so to speak, after Turner versus Rogers, that they added more criteria to that. And some of those things are your educational level, what's the job market like in your area, what's your criminal background, what's your work experience. It's a whole list of criteria that these caseworkers and judges, magistrates, what have you, have to look at before they can issue a warrant. They have to prove that you have the ability to pay, meaning that you have $10,000 in the bank and you're just saying, I'm not paying child support. That's what these guidelines were supposed to be in place for. That's how they're supposed to determine willingness not to pay, willfulness not to pay your child support. But because they can get away with it, they've taken advantage of violating non-custodial parents' right to due process. So they lock people up. Your debt does not decrease while you're doing time in jail. It increases, as a matter of fact, and you're just sitting there and nobody says a word. So we need to re-abolish debtor prisons. So that is something you can tell, and most people agree with that, especially during this time when people aren't working. We got the pandemic going on. This is what do they say? This is basic. Like, this should not be going on. So I don't see why this is even a discussion, but it is. So that's another thing that you might want to put on your signs. Abolish debtor prisons, re-abolish debtor prisons, repeal the Bradley Amendment. Non-custodial parents are not second-class citizens. And one of the most important, probably the most important, 50-50 equals 0. Shared parenting should already be taking place in every situation, unless there's violence, or if there's a situation. Every family dynamic is different, but the father has just as much right to that child as the mother. But that's not the way that things are determined, because they make more money by separating child support from custody. It's just that simple. It's all about money. So 50-50, 0 child support. Shared parenting, 0 child support. It's just that simple. If the child is at both parents' house equally, nobody should make any money off of that child, and definitely not the government. They shouldn't get $1 based on anything to do with that family dynamic, where the child is, how much, and definitely it shouldn't be a transfer of wealth. Child support, just because there was this is off topic again, but one of the rappers out here, his child's mother wants access to all his financials. Like, does he own real estate? Does he, how much he makes? What's his tax income? Like, she wants all of his financials just because they have a child. Like, that's none of your business. That's none of your business. But they have created this system that she really feels, and custodial parents really feel that they have a right to that information because you have a child together. No, you don't. So we have to end that. 50-50, I have just as much right to my child as you do, and I'm not paying you anything because I can provide for my child when my child's in the house. I have to have a bedroom, food, everything while my child is here, and you have to do the same thing. So we have to end this sense of entitlement and saying that the fathers, I know my moms out here are going to get mad at me, but I'm going to use fathers because, let's just face it, fathers are the ones that are getting the raw end of the stick the majority of the time. The bias is against fathers. So they want fathers to have 100% financial responsibility for their children, but they can't see them. They can be alienated from them and have no rights on have no say on how they are raised. But they want 100%, and if they don't 100% take care of them, they are labeled deadbeats. They are punished to the fullest extent of the law, and again treated like second-class citizens. And that has got to stop, and the time is now. So in the links I have in the description, I keep saying that, I have a link to A Race and Family, a great documentary by a friend of mine, Ginger Gentile, and they talk about erased families. So, and she also has a support. There's a number you can text or call. I'm not sure 100%, but it's a great documentary about parental alienation and everything. So you might just check it out. It's great information and just some support offered, because just to let people know you're not in this alone. So I don't like being on live that long. This is not my comfort zone, but I did want to come on here so we can put everybody together, or have like a common meeting place that we can all come and talk about our protests and where we're going to meet, the times and everything like that. I thought, let me see. Hey, Daryl. Okay, hi, Aaron. Excuse me. So I'm looking to see if I have any questions. Again, if you watch this on YouTube, I'm going to put the links that I'm talking about in this video are going to be in the description. Please go to thechildsupporthustle.com. They did infiltrate us and kept jacking it up. And so the good thing if you're watching this, whoever hacked our website and continued to hack it, and they even had it going to some porno site, you can't stop the message that we're getting out. Parents are becoming educated as we expose this corrupt and illegal and unconstitutional system. People are knowing their rights and what they can and cannot do. People are gaining access to their children and refusing to be alienated. So the good thing is I learned how to build a website. So if you hack us again, I will build it again. Okay? So like I said, I'm putting the blogs up, correcting some of my errors. I had so many typos. I hate to edit. But I want to thank you all for your continued support. And don't give up. Keep fighting. And use this platform not just today, but network with each other, use each other for support. This is difficult times, and it's even more difficult when you don't have your children in your life and you can't talk to them. So use each other, not use each other, but support each other. But just know that you're not alone. And I know that we have trolls on here. We can't pick, go to each post and kick everybody out, but just know that there's trolls out there too. When we start protesting and getting down and legislatively and everything, there's going to be trolls in here that's going to go against everything that we are fighting for. So we have to just know our information, know our facts, and present our evidence. Even when we are online, just hit them with facts. That's when I first started. People were saying, well, that every man on child support is a deadbeat. Well, that's not true. You have to sue. If you apply for public benefits, you have to sue that non-custodial parents to receive those benefits. That doesn't mean that he's a deadbeat. That means that you needed some financial help. So I just kept hitting them with facts. So that's what we have to do. And the trolls pretty much will shut up, because facts trump emotion in most cases. Some people are just idiots. So let me see if I have any more comments before I go. I thank everybody for tuning in. I want everybody to be safe during the protests. Be peaceful. And that's it. Let's have a good turnout, and let's get what we are coming for, and that's justice. Okay? Remember, they can ignore hundreds, they can ignore thousands, but they cannot ignore millions. Let's go.